though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, chat? Does the audio sound terrible, or does it sound okay? Does it sound absolutely fucking terrible? And also, why do I hear myself? That doesn't even make any sense. Why do I don't even have the monitor on. What is going on here? So, what is this now? Am I gonna have to unplug this? Am I not gonna be able to watch any videos today? Oh man. All right, here's the deal. All right, let's just rip the band-aid off. Let's talk about it. We are, of course, making adjustments here for the channel. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hang on. Now we got a video issue. Now I want everybody to know that this is all Adam's fault. Okay? Now I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but it is absolutely Adam's fault. Okay? And yeah, the lighting's probably a little off. The audio's probably a little off. We have a whole bunch of new equipment. We're setting up new things. We're trying new things. We're making adjustments. We're trying to get everything fucking ready. By the summertime, when Spider-Man's happens and Hall H happens, we got some upgrades. Okay? And we got a lot of nerd venging to do as we head towards Doomsday. Here's the thing, though. I can't hear a fucking thing. These headphones, they're literally just for show. They're not even plugged into anything. Okay? Because I can't figure it out. I have a new mixer, and I don't know how to figure it out. So, first thing, does the audio sound okay? Also, good morning. Welcome to the stream. It's gonna be a good one. We got a lot of nerdy shit to talk about. But first, we gotta do a little quality control. Good morning. We can see your helmets now. Pause. Wait, what? Audio is sold? You mean solid? You sound like the state of Star Wars? Well, that's not good. That's not a good thing. And also, who's going to come in here and swab the sweat off of my brow? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that's in Adam's contract, too. Honestly, this looks great. Okay, good. The new mixer covered in ash yet? No! And I cleaned the other one off, too. Jeez. Holy, got that chicken lighting. Wait, what? Kitchen lighting? Wait, what? Really? Okay, well, maybe it's too bright in here then. Fuck off with that shirt. What are you talking about? Now you got a fucking problem with the shirt? Now we got a problem with the shirt. Holy shit. Audio is better than before. Okay, that's good. Hi, have you been good? Thank you for your kind comment on the post. I was so grateful, you and your team and your community. I was thankful for you all the way. I'm not sure what that's about, but awesome. And glad that chat did good or something. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. Sorry, Megan. Daredevil Mog's Doom. What? What a name. I mean, I'll say it. Daredevil Mog's Doom. You are a nerd venture now, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Shit, not shirt. Oh my God, you can't read. Well, I read that one good, didn't I? And also, what shit are you talking about? Talking about all the new equipment? That's your fault. How do I become a nerd venture, Josh? Well, you have to find it deep within your heart. You know, you have to synchronize your personal vibration with the vibration of the community. And you must also find $4.99, maybe a little bit more depending on your region, each month, and have it allocated from your credit card into the Den of Nerds AdSense. So if you need any help, the mods will help you out. Day one, I'm vibrating. Wait, what? Rossi says the lighting is great. I'll send cool beer to wipe your seat. Oh my God, guys. Hey, all my nerd ventures and Josh. What? Mike, what am I, chopped liver over here? What am I, chopped liver over here? Good to see you, Mike. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. Play the trailer, you won't get striked, says Parker 9783. Hey chat, should we do a poll to just check the intention of Mr. Parker here? I'm coming out on the side of trying to get us fucking banned. But maybe he speaks the truth. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. So pumped that I finally made a stream again. It's been a few weeks. Oh, that's great, man. Glad to have you. What happened to all the emojis? Did they really go away? Did the emojis go away? What the fuck is happening? I see all of our emojis. Here's my favorite one. You guys don't have your emojis? Yeah, I see a bunch of them in chat. All gone. That must be a YouTube thing. Mine aren't working. Man, YouTube has really had some weird issues lately. So I was watching a stream with Valrak over the weekend, or maybe it was Friday, and his chat was saying the same thing some of you guys say about that 10-second buffering thing. And I'm pretty sure it's a YouTube thing, guys. Now, look, I think they'll figure it out. They're pretty good at, like, oh, this is an issue on the back end. You know, we'll get it sorted. They have great engineers, et cetera, et cetera. But it does kind of suck, huh? Like, if you don't have your emojis, I'm like, I didn't do that. You know, it's not like I came in to the office this morning and was like, you know, how can I make sure that the people that pay for these emojis don't have them for today? You know? This is why they're shutting down CERN. I don't know anything about that, but I hope it's not connected. I work for Marvel, and I'm telling you, this movie's going to be shit. Wait, what? Megan, what the fuck? What movie? Megan, what are you talking about? YouTube put clankers in charge, didn't they? I think they do have a lot of clankers running, you know, points on some things, yeah. Lagging again. Look, again, I will try to figure that out, guys. If you didn't notice, we're going through some changes and some upgrades around here, and well, I'm a big old Neanderthal when it comes to this stuff, so it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get this stuff all ironed out and get it looking and sounding the exact way that I want. And so I have a lot of other things I'm juggling, but I will look into this. I'll try to figure it out. Not lagging here. That's good. Louis the Jedi says, Josh, I went to the Warhammer store. I would say, oh boy, this is a different realm. Yeah, I think once you just, and the thing that's kind of cool about the Warhammer store, do you guys remember the old Disney stores? Do you guys remember the old Disney stores? They'd be in a lot of malls and shit like that. Josh said upgrades cost money. That's why there's all the ads now. There's not even that many ads. I swear to God, there's like 2 or 3 ads. You know, you guys lose your mind if there's just a couple of ads. I don't even think they're that bad. 12 ads. Well, 13 would be a better number, but whatever. Ibsy says, at this point, if Doom first words in Doomsday isn't my name of Doom, then I will get up, make a stinky poo, and throw it at the screen. Also, Josh, you swear too much. And remember, it's a motherfucking family show. Yeah, I probably do swear too much. What do you guys think? Can we talk about this for a second? I was actually thinking about this over the weekend a bit. I should probably swear less. The problem is, of course, that, well, I swear a lot. And especially when I'm sort of just in free thought or whatever, like I'm in a flow state, I swear a lot. So, I don't know. Maybe we could try to peel it back a little bit. I don't know. We've tried this before. It didn't go well. VTJ Productions, appreciate you, brother, says, heard an audio leak last night of the brand new day trailer. I'd bet my home that it was legit. Some exciting trigger words in the trailer that got Marvel fans hyped. Oh yeah, we're going to break it down. I have recorded a version of the trailer. We're not going to watch it, but we'll go over everything that is said and potentially things that are shown in the trailer. That's on the agenda this morning. And I'm excited. Yeah, there's some really cool shit. Like, for instance, I think one of the most interesting things in the trailer is Tramell Tillman telling Peter that he's the only one that is immune to essentially what will amount to Jean Grey, and he's the only one that can sense when Jean Grey is using her powers, and that's really cool. So we'll get into that. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of things to break down with the trailer. You got a Savage Hulk, and he's even getting bigger. That's cool, man. That's definitely more like comic book Hulk, even a little bit of Ang Lee Hulk action. So trust me, I got a lot to say about it. We're going to get into it. Michael Ruse says, at the airport, flight delayed 2 hours. This stream should help Nerd Avengers for life. Well, we're going to call the stream there, guys. Sorry, Michael. No, I'm just kidding. That sucks, but yeah, man, we'll hold it down for you for the next couple hours. Swearing is one of my favorite things in life, 100%. I mean, I really like it. Nothing wrong with cursing. Just got to use them effectively, like Carlin. Oh, just be like fucking Carlin. Thanks, Adam. Great advice. Just be like maybe the GOAT of comedians, one of the most intelligent, quick-witted people to ever live. Just be like Carlin. Incredible advice. Next time I'm at the gym and I see somebody coming in like for the first time, I'm going to be like, just be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know? All you got to do is just be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look, I'm aim high. I'm just being mad at Adam because he didn't come across the state and fix all my shit. So I have to figure it out. Chappelle is the GOAT. I don't know if I would. I mean, look, man, that's a tough one. I like Chappelle a lot. I think he's probably in the conversation, absolutely. But I'll be honest with you, his turn in the last couple of years, I don't even think he cares about being funny anymore. And maybe he's earned that right. But at the same time, like, does that make him the GOAT of comedy then? If he actually isn't as concerned with being funny and he's got other things on his mind. I don't know. I guess that's his prerogative, but you know, one of my favorite comedians of all time, and he was gone way before his time, was Mitch Hedberg. Did you guys ever watch any or listen to any of the Mitch Hedberg stuff? Incredible comedian. He was just a funny guy that could make material that basically nobody else could make work. Yeah, he was one of the greatest, man. Unfortunately, one of his specials was like one of his worst bombs ever, and so one of his Comedy Central specials is like really fucking bad. So a lot of people kind of have like a whatever impression of him. But if you've listened to his audio tapes when he was on the road, man, what a funny motherfucker! Just a funny guy, man. Dusty Slay? Okay, yeah, I've never heard of him. Yeah. Mitch was, dude, Norm too. I agree. Norm's up there. Like, Norm's so funny. Man, I forget who it was. He was roasting a comedian one time, and he actually bombed for like 5 minutes straight on purpose. And basically almost nobody in the crowd knew what he was doing, but all the comedians on stage could recognize what he was doing. And that's actually really hard to do. He literally bombed on purpose for like a 5-minute set. It's amazing. So yeah, Norm was like one of the GOATs for sure. Was it the Bob Saget? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, man. Those guys are all incredible for sure. for sure. I used to watch Josh. I still do, but I used to too. Yeah, that's a Mitch joke. Yeah. Yeah, Mitch is so funny, man. I like the one where he's like, I like rice. It's great if you're hungry and you want about 1,000 of something. See, I can't even make it funny the way he did, you know? He just had his timing was impeccable. It's good stuff. Bob Saget for the win. I liked Saget's, give me 1 second. I liked his very blue comedy. I thought it was a brilliant move to like do really blue comedy as sort of a juxtaposition against his image from Family Matters. Brilliant. It does get a little tiresome, but those first couple times I watched Bob Saget do a set that was very blue, I was rolling, dude. It was really funny. Very, very good. Is Dane Cook still around? I think so. I don't know. I haven't really seen too much of his stuff, but is it Full House? What did I say? It was one of those shows. It was one of those shows. You know the shows. Seinfeld, whatever. Bill Burr's incredible too, but I think Burr is kind of in a similar track to Chappelle a little bit. I don't know. These guys are meeting the moment in a very unique way, I guess. Way to say it. Had a phenomenal weekend. Saw Masters of the Universe with Ben on Friday. Oh, so those were the two people that saw it. That's awesome. It was 7 out of 10. The movie doesn't take itself seriously. Jared Leto was great. Took my 7-year-old niece to Mando and Grogu on Saturday. Chill AF on Sunday. Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for the $20 holla. That is very generous, brother. And maybe too generous. Stop spending all that money on these super chats. Appreciate you, though. That is awesome, dude. I'm glad you had a good time. Mando Grogu, huh? So like when we look at these numbers for like He-Man and Mando and Grogu, and we're like, damn, this is crazy. Like there's like nobody seeing this shit. You got to remember, Rossi's actually one of those people that is seeing it. So that's interesting. But no, in all seriousness, I'm glad that you had a good weekend. The Xbox Games Showcase was really good. It was pretty good. I know there's some mixed opinions about some of the titles or whatever. I'm really happy with the direction of Xbox. Since Asha took over, I've re-upped on Game Pass. I bought a Series X. I'm excited. I like the idea of exclusivities. Console exclusivities is cool. Day one Game Pass on, titles that are going to go out to other platforms, I think is really good. Yeah, man, and I just like the energy. It's crazy because like I always liked Phil Spencer, and some of the ideas that he had I thought were like decent, but he lost like the brand identity of Xbox. Like he just lost it and went to be this like ubiquitous Netflix, fucking Microsoft Windows kind of a thing, and it's just like, yeah, that's not really it. Went into Grogu expecting a 3 out of 10, but it was a solid 6.5. Nice. That's more than double. Did you see Obsession? I know you're not a horror guy. Nah, I mean, like, the only way I'm going to check out a horror movie is if there's some other draw to it. So, like, for instance, I've watched all of Kubrick's movies, and that includes, like, The Shining and stuff. If there's maybe a genre mixing, and it's like a superhero horror thing, or it's like a mythological horror thing, maybe. But yeah, I don't really fucks with horror like that. Oh, he's Christian Bale's favorite comedian? That's cool. She's all over my damn algorithm right now. Who is Asha? Good for her. I'm starting to feel like Rossi is like a Star Wars informant in the chat. No, you know what? Look, here's one thing I'll say before we get started on all these topics. And we got a lot to do today, so we got to get into it, okay? But let me just tell you this. No, because I just bought the Series X. SC Collects asks if I'm going to get the X25. Nah, man, I can't justify turning around and spending another $600. I just fucking did. Like I'm happy for everybody that's getting one. And maybe if I hadn't just bought one, I would get this one. But no. Can't do that. Okay, here's one thing I'll say, chat, okay? We got a lot of fun that we're going to have for the rest of the year. A lot of cool stuff going on. But I did want to sort of apologize. I know. Very rare. And probably will never happen again. But I will apologize because I know I've been a little bit, let's say, grumpy, maybe a little bit abrasive certainly pretty pissy when it comes to Star Wars, when it comes to the movie theaters being a big scam and Hollywood being garbage and all that sort of stuff. And I think the truth is, I'm just juggling a lot of shit right now, and I'm probably not keeping as much of a chill vibe as I should. I should have apology music, actually. That would be kind of fun. That would be kind of cool. So all I'll say is that I apologize. And I recognize that I've been a little abrasive and grumpy, and I'm trying to do my best. I know this channel and this community is about fun, and we want to have fun, and we want to be excited about this shit. And so I totally get that. You know, it's a tough sort of tightrope to walk because things are not going great in pop culture in a lot of ways. And I even think, you know, we'll talk a little bit about Masters of the Universe. I mean, that shit is bombing in a kind of mind-blowing way. And I do think it matters, and I do think it says something about like where we're at, where Hollywood's at, you know, the audience, etc. And I guess what I would say is this. Man, as somebody who just does this for a living, it's really fucking irritating, dude. It's like really irritating how badly they're fucking it up. Like, the Star Wars movie is out of the top 10, I'm pretty sure. It lost 1,000 theaters over the weekend. The merch isn't selling. Like, dude, it's like basically everything we thought it was going to be. He-Man's going through the motions. I'm pretty sure that Supergirl is going to super flop, like, unfucking believably bad. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see happening. And it's like, man, in some ways it just feels like we're sort of just going through the motions of the residual fuck-ups of these studios. And the real problem is it takes like 1.5 to 2 years to turn these movies around. And so Hollywood is stuck on this like archaic dinosaur conveyor belt of like, hey, here's an idea, the audience might like it. 2 years later, the audience has completely fucking moved on. Things are completely different, and they're like, well, we made this thing, and it's like, yeah, we don't give a fuck, dude. You spent 2 years, we don't give a fuck, you know? And so I'm personally just really frustrated, but I shouldn't take that out on you guys. I shouldn't like create a negative environment for everybody that wants to come in here and just get informed and try to have fun. And so I apologize. I'm going to try to dial it back a little bit. The good news is I think good shit is ahead of us. Like some seriously good shit, man. Like Spider-Man looks incredible and there's so much interest in it. And, you know, there's still like the Jean Grey stuff. We'll talk about the pink powers and everything. And so that's like super cool, man. I'm serious. And then San Diego Comic-Con, Hall H, Doomsday shit. Dude, I'm telling you, that's going to be mind blowing. I'm very excited for that and to do that with you guys. The lead into the Endgame re-release with the new post-credit scene and then going into Doomsday, it's going to be absolutely incredible. On top of that, Dune 2's building. I'm very excited for that. I think that's going to be great. At the end of this month, we get House of the Dragon, the new season. We're getting Marvel Magic the Gathering, which I think actually looks pretty fucking cool, dude. I shared a Dr. Doom card on our Discord earlier. I'm real excited about that. Like, that's going to be really cool. Warhammer 11th edition's coming out, which, by the way, we will do another Warhammer Wednesday stream this Wednesday night, and we're going to talk about all the new rules. We'll do some lore and some rules. Lore and game. That's probably how we're going to do those streams. But yeah, at the end of this month, guys, things are going to start ramping up a lot, and we're going to have so many different opportunities to have fun and stream. So I think the mood will just generally be better. Okay. Of course, you know, Supergirl is going to come out the next couple of weeks and flop terribly, and we're going to have to comment on it, hopefully as little as possible. And, you know, around October, Clayface will come out and probably do fucking nothing. So we'll have to talk about that. You've got Mana tomorrow and the set photos, and everybody thinks it looks like shit. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But what I'm saying to you is like, we're going to try to keep it chill. We're going to try to have a good time. We're going to try to keep the tone playful. Okay, that's it. I'll never apologize again. I like the theaters. Ban him! I mean, no, it's cool. That's cool. Lost me at Warhammer. Get him out of here. Darth Taser says, good morning, Josh and Nerd Vengers. Hope everyone is well. Police Academy graduation is next Monday. So stoked to be done. Can't wait for brand new day. Oh, hell yeah. No, good for you, brother. I'm sure that's been a trip. It'll be nice to be done. So good for you, man. Unless they fuck up the marketing for Clayface, it's likely to be a success. Yeah, Clayface will probably do all right. We'll see. What do you guys think about Supergirl, though? I'll see you at the movies, Josh. So I've been expanding my physical media collection, and it's been dope, dude. Getting some 4K Blu-rays. I watched Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. Holy shit. It's been a while since I watched that movie. It's so good, man. And just to be able to enjoy it at home and like pause it, rewind it, watch it in chunks, you know, have a couple drinks, have a couple smokes. I mean, it's just like an incredible experience. So I like movies. I like stories. I think theatrical and Hollywood is a bunch of bloated, stupid, idiot dum-dums. Especially over the last 5 to 6 years. So, I don't know. What do you do in that situation, man? You know, I'm trying to hold on for hope. I guess I shouldn't be as pissy about how I think the theaters are a big fucking ripoff, but it is what it is. Man of Tomorrow will do amazingly. Supergirl is in that, and from early reactions, it is incredible. Oh, you're talking about Supergirl early reactions? All right, should we talk about this a little bit? Let's start. First topic of the day. The people want a Supergirl discussion. The people want Papa Josh to talk about the Supergirl. There's a Superboy. There's a Superman. Of course there should be a Supergirl. And I think it's about time. Here we go. Darth Saber with the 5 spot says, so I went and seen He-Man with my dad twice. Oh, He-Man. Okay. Twice. And we loved it. We're also old fans of the original show. He showed it to me when I was when I was there and younger. Oh, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Should I start with shitting on He-Man instead now that you've said that? I mean, look, can you bring your dad into the room? Like, how do you guys want to do this? 3 ads to get into the stream? Ain't no way, dog. I thought I set it up for 6 minimum. You got away easy. As a blonde guy who works in HR, I loved He-Man. LOL. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Okay, now let's talk Supergirl, then we'll talk He-Man. Maybe they're connected. Maybe we can do them in one segment here. Hang on. Oh, you know what else? I gotta pause the music because I can't even hear the music. What do I have these headphones on? Anyways, it's just a prop. Also, chat. Real quick, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. I apologize. One other new thing that we're doing, okay? I'm going to send the clips to the Randon as we're streaming. So after every segment, I'm going to need to do a WeTransfer real quick. It'll get to the point where you don't even notice me doing it. But we're going to try a new workflow. And I need to be sending him clips right as we're recording them, mostly for the shorts, actually. But, yeah. And then, of course, we have to remember to do the shorts at the end of the streams. At the end of the streams. What the hell? Insufficient disk space? Wait, what? Uh-oh. Hang on. I think I know what this is. This is also Adam's fault, but I think I can figure this one out. Output. Recording. Please insert a disc. Insert a disc, huh? Boom. Okay, I think we're okay here. Okay. Let's try it. All right, so we got to talk a little bit about Supergirl. I want to slip some He-Man into this conversation as well, and ultimately about Man of Tomorrow and the DCU. So, Supergirl, coming out in a couple of weeks right now. I think the tracking looks fairly rough. In fact, it does actually appear to be tracking around He-Man, maybe slightly better than He-Man. And remember, we talked about this last week. There's some debate on these numbers. Some people have as a 55 plus domestic opening, which again would be less than half of what Man of Steel opened to. Some people had it higher, closer to that half, maybe a little bit over it. So it's in the 70s domestically. And we'll see how it does internationally. One of the problems with Superman was the international box office. If you'll recall, it did pretty decent in the United States, actually. It was a very soft box office internationally, which prevented it from getting like higher into that 700, 800, 900 million dollar range, which, you know, I think everybody involved would have much preferred, right? Even Gunn himself has commented on this and said, yeah, you know, we missed out on the international, like, I forget exactly his words, but he admitted it and said something like, it's something we got to pay attention to, right? Which is what you want to do. You want to hear that. You want to hear that. So that's one of the few good things he said when he opened up that trapper of his, okay? So with all of that said, there's this big question about like Supergirl, the DCU, and then Man of Tomorrow. You know, in our community, I see a lot of people really hanging their hat on Man of Tomorrow, and it is filming right now. There's a lot of set videos leaking from the set in a similar way to the ones from Superman, right? Gunn, as opposed to, you know, some of the other directors out there will just go shoot out there and just let it be, and people will see it, and it's whatever. It's just a part of it. I'm sure he does things to try to keep some secrets, but by and large, not as concerned as some other directors and whatnot. So we've seen like Superman fighting against Lex Luthor in the big goofy Buzz Lightyear suit. Yeah. So the question is, chat, and a lot of people are asking this, is will Man of Tomorrow be the hit they need it to be? And how bad will Supergirl perform? And is there a connection between Supergirl underperforming and Man of Tomorrow underperforming? Because here's kind of the way I see it going. I believe Supergirl is going to bomb really badly. I'd love to be wrong. And if Supergirl makes more than He-Man and Mando and Grogu, it deserves a lot of credit just for kind of crawling out of this pretty whack time in the box office period. I would give them a lot of credit if they got higher box office, but I unfortunately don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to bomb terribly. The problem with this is that because Gunn is doing so much Superman and Superman derivative material in his first few entries with theatrical movies in the DCU, the second movie underperforming, unfortunately, I think lays pretty bad groundwork for the third movie, right? It's not necessarily the case that you need everything to be a banger. And in fact, like if you look at the release of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iron Man comes out and is incredibly strong. Incredible Hulk does okay. I think Cap technically underperforms for what they were expecting. Thor does okay. And then you get like your Avengers or whatever. But I also just think we live in way different times. The audience has way different expectations. They're more discerning. So when you look at the DCU, you're talking about a Superman movie that underperformed, and I got to tell you, I think it underperformed on digital too, because we haven't heard any stats from Warner Brothers or anybody sort of touting the digital release numbers, right? So I'm pretty confident that James Gunn's Superman underperformed in theaters and is underperforming in digital, okay? And to go from that to the next movie, which might be an absolute crazy fucking bomb, that's not a good look, especially when they're now trying to turn up the marketing by showing you Superman in the movie, right? So it's like they're literally showing everybody, hey, Superman, that movie you liked, that guy, he's in this one, so you should go see it. Unfortunately, that's just going to hurt Man of Tomorrow if Supergirl bombs the way I think it's going to bomb. Now, for a second here, let's talk about He-Man, because they're connected, because I think Hollywood, man, like I've been saying it for some time, but I think Hollywood is just, they have blinders on. They cannot see what is happening. They cannot figure it out. They're way behind the times. And I think He-Man, Mando and Grogu, and Supergirl all bombing within a couple of months of each other, I mean, that fucking means something, dude. That definitely means something. They're all 70s and 80s IP, right? They're all derivative of larger IP and things. I mean, I guess He-Man's not really derivative. It's like, it is He-Man. But, you know, Mando and Grogu is like a side project of a brand that you know and trust, or at least you used to. Supergirl seems to be the same way. It's like, this is a side slice of that new franchise from James Gunn that you love because you like the Superman movie, right? So if all of these movies bomb, and it should, it really should be said just how bad the He-Man bomb is. I mean, to open at what, 50-something million worldwide on an almost $200 million budget with a $150 million marketing campaign, that is fucking crazy, dude. This thing opened lower than The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp. Okay, so I see a lot of people on Twitter, some that are even within some of the other circles, the niches of the bubble that I run in when it comes to Star Wars and some of these other things, that are defending He-Man, that are very excited about He-Man, and that wish it was doing well. And the truth is, they are in such a fucking bubble, dude. They are in a worse bubble than the bubble they accuse the Star Wars fans of being in. And what bubble am I talking about? I'm talking about the bubble that makes you think that the conversations on social media reflect the real world in any meaningful way. In any meaningful way. How crazy is it to see posts with thousands of likes supporting He-Man and then live in a world where it bombs to such a degree? Is nobody understanding what is happening? He-Man bombed so badly that it actually makes Star Wars, Marvel, and all the Disney brands look way better. Because you kind of get the sense, I think, with this context, that Disney's just treading water as the fucking flood of Noah is happening. That they're finding a way to just do what they can, and everyone else is just drowning. Like, real talk. It's really bad, guys. Okay? Now, the question then becomes, like, what is this? Is this is theatrical on the way out? And look, as much as I wish that was the case and I want it to go that way because I really think theaters are a big ripoff, again, we're not going to dwell on it, though. That's not actually what's happening. But what is happening is a super stark bifurcation of what works. So you're going to have these big event movies that are going to capture the attention of the zeitgeist. They'll have cultural urgency, and they'll funnel a whole bunch of people into them to watch them because they're these big event things. So this will be like your Odyssey, this will be your Dune 2, this will be your Doomsday, this will be your Spider-Man Brand New Day, right? And those things, especially with the lineup that we have this year, will do well, and I think do so well that they will mask how bad it is for these other big brands and franchises. But now let's take it all the way back to Supergirl and the DCU, because that's what we're talking about here. With this all in mind, it seems like the only hope of the DCU is to create such cultural urgency as the Odyssey, as a Spider-Man Brand New Day, as a Doomsday. And I don't think Supergirl's that. I don't think Clayface is that. I don't even think Man of Tomorrow is that. Like, it could be. We're pretty far out, and there's a lot of different characters. There might be a Wonder Woman, right? There might be some things in there that make it feel very culturally relevant. But by and large, like, I'm just not seeing it. And I don't know what it means exactly for Hollywood to, like, be in that state, but I'm just telling you, like, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like it's going to take to have success. I guess Clayface could take them the other way, where it has a very modest success, but its budget is so small that there's, like, you know, money in there. But, like, dude, there were rumors about Marvel trying something similar to that. Kevin Feige shut that shit down fast, man. He was like, no, we don't do that. And even the reports around it, like, I remember watching several podcasts where Jeff Snyder's talking about this, and he's like, they're not in the business of making, like, $100 million. They want their movie, they want to spend big money. They want these movies to crush it and make several $100 million. That's what Marvel does, and that's what they want to do. And it's like, okay, So are we still in this place where that's the goal? Marvel's chasing themselves, potentially successfully for the first time in years. Everybody else is chasing Marvel, and they're all failing at it terribly. And what I would tell you is this. It's not impossible for these old brands or IPs to gain the cultural relevance, but it's more possible than ever for Hollywood to think they can tap into it, and yet they cannot. That's the big problem. That's what we continue to see. And the real question is James Gunn the guy to do that? Can he figure that out? And unfortunately, like, I just don't think so, guys. So ultimately, we're a couple of weeks out from Supergirl. Brother, I don't see any hype for this thing. And by the way, too, I know this sounds so mean when I say this. It's like a super dick thing to say. But the more that the influencers try to smile through it and just act like, yeah, I'm doing the Supergirl thing and everybody's pumped and the whole world is like, no, we fucking aren't. That is actually exacerbating the problem because y'all motherfuckers are out of touch. Normal people are looking at these celebs, looking at these red carpets, looking at this, that, second, and the third, and we don't give a fuck, dude. So I know that sounds really rude, but it's just like, that is a part of the problem. It's a symptom of just being out of touch. But it's like, y'all invited all the influencers out for Mando and Grogu. You got all the TikTok chicks. You got everybody to do the little cutesy dances or whatever. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Okay, you got all the cool He-Man stuff. You got the sword with the sippies. You're doing this, that, second, third. It didn't fucking matter. I see this account on social media gassing people up in the comment section, all these different things. How long do you think that charade is going to work? I'm trying to fucking, like, the red coats are coming, you know, like, I'm trying to, like, Paul Revere this shit. Nobody's listening. So ultimately, I guess we'll see what's going to happen with Supergirl. I see a pretty bad set of dominoes falling. Supergirl is going to bomb incredibly hard, and it will hurt the stock of the entire DC. Why? Because Goon built it that way. You didn't have to do it this way, but you did do it this way. Okay, anyway, that's enough. What do you guys think? Any comments here, chat? And then I got to do a short. Any comments, questions, concerns? Am I crazy? Is Supergirl going to blow up? What if Supergirl blows up? Supergirl blows up, it'll be fucking amazing, huh? VTJB Productions, the 5 says, in your opinion, what would be more successful, if at all, if Paramount made a TMT Last Ronin project as a live action series or an anime style flick? Ooh, I think the anime flick, dude. I think the anime flick. You get a really good studio that has a reputation, worked on something big. You have people from the comics involved, even if it's just in a consultant perspective. You let them cook. I think that would do well. Should have seen DCU Batman sooner. Yeah, I mean, of course that's an issue, and I know, like, you know, it seems as though he just went in a. I just don't understand the Supergirl move. I don't understand greenlighting Supergirl. I don't understand it. Why not just put her more into these other movies? Like, I just don't understand it. Y'all be coping so damn hard hating on DC. I don't even think this is a lot of hardcore DC hate. I'm certainly frustrated. I'm more hating on Hollywood and just executives and all of that. I didn't think it was that. Am I hating hard in this segment here? I didn't think I was hating that hard. Man of Tomorrow will be a success, but the Batman 2 will be a massive success. Yeah, but if that's true, then how do you justify continuing on with James Gunn's stuff? Do you know what I mean? I feel as though you've been extremely fair with the DCU. Well, I wish I could take that to heart, but I've seen the other shit you put into the chat. Appreciate it, though. People say it's cope, but we want a good DC universe. They should have given us the heavy hitters first. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just think you look at the absolute universe. Like, here's what's crazy about this, right? DC is killing it in the comics right now. They're shitting all over Marvel's chest. And how? Why? Because they're doing something fresh. The Absolute Universe is sailing on the wings of its ambition. It's different. It's violent. I think it's really like nightmare fuel mixed with high testosterone. You know what I mean? Like, it just, there's a resonance happening with Absolute, and it's just not matched in what's going on with the live action stuff. Not even close. People are going to see Superman because he is hot. That's all. Let's be honest. That is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. So it's probably true. If the Batman 2 is better than Supergirl, does that mean we should let Matt Reeves be the lead of the DCU? Or just kill the DCU and let Matt Reeves cook? Mm-hmm. I'm hating, fuck DC and Goon. Oh, okay, yeah, well, this guy's hating, you know? See, that's hating. I'm just reporting. You know, a little editorial, but I'm just the facts, man. Would it have been wise to copy what Zack did prior? We saw DCU try to make the Marvel approach, and it did not work. They made money, but did not enter the cultural zeitgeist. What would you do if you were Gunn? So look, that's sort of a loaded question, and I think that you probably know how I feel about it, but at the end of the day, Warner Brothers was the problem there, not Zack. Okay, have you ever seen the theatrical version of BVS versus the one that he sent in, the director's cut? There's this funny meme online that says something like cutting 30 minutes out of BVS theatrical, and it's the small domino, and then the big domino is Warner Brothers gets sold to Paramount. So basically, I think the studio did what the studio does best, and that's fuck everything up. And then they also really screwed him over to the degree that they then made, frankly, what is another boneheaded decision and allow him to finish his actual cut. And the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, that cut is incredible. And it's fucking crazy they did all that and they just went away from Snyder stuff anyways. And then, of course, remember, too, that you have Black Adam and you have The Rock trying to take over, right? And so then we're getting Henry Cavill back in Black Adam, but oh wait, 2 months later, he's literally fucking fired, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, are we really gonna say that Zack Snyder was the issue there? So I just don't agree with that. But to be fair to your question with Gunn, like, here's the thing. He's like right when he said that everything was fractured. Okay? So when he came out and made that one video that was on like in like a closet on the Warner Brothers lot, the day that he announced Gods and Monsters, which like half of those projects aren't happening. So when he did this, he actually was right. He comes out and he says, before he started lying, he was like, DC has been fractured. And it's our job to try to bring it all together and let it be great as a thing, as a unit, as a cohesive thing. He was right. The problem is he's not doing it. Maybe he's unable to do it because a little bit of Reeves, a little bit of contracts. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe studio consideration. Like, what if Zaslav was like, I need a Wonder Woman, but Supergirl style or something? We don't know. But here's what I'll tell you. Should he have done a lot of things differently? Yeah. Could he have done a lot better? Yeah. Would Zack Snyder have done better? Yes. Would a lot of other people have done better? Yes. Should Christopher McQuarrie have done Superman? Yes. And that was on the table. So Gunn basically has nobody to blame but himself. He's literally the guy signing the checks that he gives to all his friends, family, and self. You know what I mean? Darth Saber says, DC sucks. Cough. Goon's fault. How about we chat about them badass Marvel Legends reveals? Yeah, that's right. Let's get off this shit. Let's get off this DC shit. Wait. We got to do it short. Okay? We got to do it short. And in fact, here's what I'll do. I'll end the segment. And then we'll do just a little segment for the short. All right, TLDR on the Supergirl box office. We're a couple of weeks away, and it looks real bad. Currently tracking which came out last week, was suggesting you'd get something like a $55 million opening, maybe as much as $70 million, and it was sort of all over the place. But what we do know, and I actually forgot to mention this during the entire 20-minute segment I just made for the Clips channel, but what we do know is that the first day pre-sales are far below a lot of other movies that bombed, including The Flash. That's a little scary. So we had all of these projections, but as we get to the actual pre-sales on day one, Supergirl is looking abysmally bad. Here's the problem, and this is what I think. I'd love to know what you think about this. I personally think that Supergirl bombing, which I basically think is guaranteed, would love to be wrong, but I think Supergirl bombing is going to be a major issue for Man of Tomorrow, because as it stands right now, they're spending a ton of money marketing Supergirl, trying to turn this turd muffin around, and the way they're doing that is by showing you that David Corenswet as Superman is in the Supergirl movie. The problem is a lot of people are going to see that and be like, oh, great. Well, I still don't give a fuck. And now I like Superman a little bit less. That seems harsh. Probably not super fair, but I'm telling you that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you that the connection that should be making it all feel great and connected in a piece of the story that you got to complete. Well, once you realize that the second chapter in is horseshit that you can skip and you're not interested in at all, there's no way to build off of that into the next one. So the idea of Supergirl, who we know is going to be a part of Man of Tomorrow, and Lex Luthor and Superman and all of that, it's just very hard to imagine with Supergirl bombing that you're going to have this hype generated, this crescendo of excitement with the fans, and the build-up of long-form storytelling in a connected and shared universe, which is ultimately what David Zaslav wanted. He wanted Kevin Feige type shit, and it seems like gun shit is going like this. So I'm really fucking concerned. I think the DCU might be cooked. And I certainly think Supergirl's going to underperform. I guess we'll wait and see. Man of Tomorrow could turn it up and be incredible, but I think that Supergirl's actually going to hurt the performance of that. Let me know what you think about it in Das comment section below. Okay, bye. Hey, not too bad. Hey, what do you think? Not too bad. Also, I can't believe I forgot to tell you guys about the pre-sales on day one. I'll pull up the stats to show you how bad it is. It's bad. Literally below The Flash. Can you believe that? What the fuck? Xbox, what the fuck? Where's it at? Where's the file for Randon? Did it not work? Ruh-roh, Raggy. Oh, here we go. Haha, I found it. Don't worry. Boom shakalaka. Chris Ramirez says, hey, Josh, I've been looking forward to the Hot Toys figures, wondering if you have any and if the hefty price is worth it. You know what's so funny about that, Christian? I got an offer a month and a half ago to become an affiliate with Hot Toys, and I fucked it up and never got back to them. But I would love to do that, and maybe I should do that. But I like Hot Toys a lot, man. I think they're worth the price. They're a premium figure for sure. But I think they're legit, man. They look great as a piece. They pose well. Yeah, they're really cool. I actually just pre-ordered the Punisher one. I just pre-ordered the Punisher one today from the Punisher special. That shit looked too good. I think it was Kaylin posted it to our Discord, and I was like, that shit's amazing. Pre-ordered right now. So, yeah, got that going on. But, yeah, Hot Toys are great, and use my affiliate link when I get it. Are you telling me I could be getting discounts on Hot Toys using a code right now, but I can't because you bunged it? Yeah, and I even told them, like, I would love to do this. I'm just busy. I'll get back to you guys by the end of the week, and I never did. But hopefully, maybe it's still available. Or maybe they saw me say I hate theaters. Who knows? At least The Flash had man in it. What? Okay. All right, lads and lasses, should we talk a little bit about this leak for the Spider-Man's trailer? We'll probably have to pull up a description of it. Everybody's just posting the leak, but like, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I mean? Oh man, there's some really weird leaks about the ending out there too. Ooh, things are getting spicy, chat. All right, hang on. Let me see here. Brand new day trailer subscription or description. Why are they all just like showing the trailer? That's crazy. Somebody just describe it. There's got to be a description of it. Okay, here we go. What the fuck? It's a terrible description. I'm leaking right now. You might want to get that looked at. I got you. Oh, yeah, somebody sent it to me on the Discord. Full description for this was on June 7th, so that's yesterday. So yeah, this is probably it then, huh? Okay, here we go. I'm pretty sure this is it here, Chad, okay? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just double check that this is the real one. So, my name is Peter Parker. Spider-Man between the prison. Spider-Man in the hand getting into a fighting stance. We see several acrobatics from the hand. Watching a live stream of... Yeah, okay, so I think this is... I'm pretty sure this is it. So, let's get this going here. Okay, so we have the next trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day leaking online, just like the other one did. And yes, this begs the question of like, what's going on with Sony's security? Seriously, seems pretty bad. But this is also all like trailer and promo stuff. Leaks from the set were actually decent. I mean, they almost hid the Jean Grey thing completely from everybody. If that one YouTuber hadn't figured it out and fucked it up for everybody. So I don't know. It's weird because, you know, I was thinking about this over the weekend. Destin runs a pretty tight ship. Like there were not a lot of leaks from Shang-Chi. And in fact, do you guys remember the fake leak for Shang-Chi? You know what's so wild about Shang-Chi? I gotta do a little ADD rant here. Let me tell you something wild about Shang-Chi, okay? While they were building the sets in New Zealand, I think, one of the Nerdvengers was right there, lived there, randomly. And this guy shot a bunch of photos of the set, and he sent them to me, and we looked at him on stream. I kid you not, Disney found this guy, gave him some money, and told him, don't ever send anything to Josh again, okay? I'm dead ass. That happened, okay? You don't have to believe it, but it happened. And the other thing that's wild about it is there were fake leaks about the tournament and stuff like that. Remember? There was even rumors of like Lady Deathstrike and some other characters that were going to be in it. Maybe Omega Red at one point. I don't remember exactly. But what I'm trying to tell you is like Destin runs a pretty tight ship. And we didn't see leaks for Shang-Chi. I would have to imagine that Sony's involvement in this thing has fucked it up and allowed for the leaks to happen. Now, on the one hand, like, yes, this is crazy. Maybe you don't like leaks or whatever. What are you doing here if you don't like leaks? But on the other hand, the first trailer had all kinds of leaks, and it ended up being the biggest trailer of all time. Literally, I'm pretty sure it did 2 billion views in a week. What? So maybe these leaks aren't that big of a deal. Maybe the leaks are creating a scenario in which a bunch of people are like hearing about it, learning about it, questioning it, seeing a shitty quality version of it. And all that does is make it so when the real John hits, they're ready to go. And they want to watch it, and they actually even know the parts they want to see, etc., which could be adding to views. I'm not really sure. But regardless, that's where we're at. So the trailer has leaked. We cannot watch the trailer, even though I've watched it many times, and a lot of you probably have as well. We can't watch it because that would break copyright shit, and then they'd come for me, right? So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to read the description of it. And there's a couple of key things in here that are really cool, potentially really spoilery. So we're going to get really sweaty on this shit. So trailer starts with him saying, "My name is Peter Parker." The Spider-Man brand new day trailer begins in a prison. Spider-Man and the Hand get into a fighting stance, and we see several acrobatics from the Hand. And the scene ends with that one shot at the end of trailer 1. But now the scene is finished and takes place in the prison. Okay, now, "My name's Peter Parker" is the beginning of his letter to his friends. This is the way the first trailer is framed. It's the way this trailer is framed, although maybe not as obvious in this one, because Peter's friends have lost the memory of him. And so he's continuously writing a letter. He's trying to decide what to say to them because he wants to get his friends back. Okay, so that's like the framing there. But the fight with the prison and the Hand stuff, that's really, really cool. I think there's also a line where Peter is like, "Wow, that's so cool," like talking about something maybe with the ninjas or whatever. But that's where we're at. The following scene shows Peter watching a live stream of Ned and MJ. This part's cool because, like, MJ's like, you have no viewers. Like, there's one person watching you, and that one person happens to be Peter. I think that's kind of sweet. Like, Ned has no real reach on social media. Nobody's really watching his streams. But Peter's watching him, of course, because that's his best friend, and his best friend doesn't remember him anymore, so he's watching the streams. I think that's kind of cool. Next scene shows Peter putting on his web shooters, but the web shooter flies off towards a wall. He now has organic webbing. Now, we've seen a lot of this, and this explains why in the first trailer there's that scene where Peter's just trying to web sling, and then he, like, loses it and, like, flies across the roof. It's because he's not used to the strength of these organic webbing. And, Cryptic HD recently said that he'll be able to break the ninja swords. He'll be able to break the katanas with the organic webbing. It's really, really strong. It's going to help to fight against the Hulk, too. But, yeah, pretty cool. So then we get Peter meeting Bruce Banner, and they have a conversation. Yo, this part is crazy. A lot of stuff potentially spoiled here. So Peter says, "You found a way to suppress mutating DNA." Right? And then Banner says, "If you see me without this, run." He's making a joke by yelling. He's going to do that scary thing again that he did. I think he does it in Avengers 1. But yeah, so that's kind of an interesting segue in there. It has Peter talking about how you can control the DNA. There's a line in the trailer, which I don't think is in this description, where he's asking something about nature, and he's like, could you remove the bad parts of a mutation? And then there's a part where he says something like, how do you decide what are the good and bad parts of nature? That's really interesting as well. Okay, the following scene features Peter swinging around ultra fast speed. A bird gets stuck in his stomach. He is out of control, crashes into things, lands in a wedding. He was running away from Jean Grey or something like that. So that's that scene we talked about where he web slings and a bird gets, I don't think it like literally goes into his stomach. It gets caught in his stomach, maybe gets stuck to his webbing. He's not used to his new powers. Now the trailer starts to get frantic. The tank runs over Spider-Man. It cuts to a quick shot of William Metzger talking to the leader of the Hand. That's interesting. Peter is falling from a building. MJ and Punisher have a quick dialogue. Yeah, man, I wish I could remember what they said. I almost want to pull the trailer up and see what they said because I remember and it's kind of interesting, but it's very, very slight. We return to the prison scene where the Hand has arrived. Peter appears unmasked, badly bruised, looked down slowly, cuts to the Punisher in the car saying that Spider-Man is going to do something. He better do it now. Aunt May is narrating in the trailer, this whole thing can get really scary. Now, I want you to remember your responsibility. Never forget that, no matter how powerful you become. That's interesting. And by the way, double check me on this, guys, because I don't necessarily remember that in the trailer. Maybe I didn't hear that. But is it actually Aunt May in the trailer? That's kind of interesting. We've heard she's in it. Could be a flashback, could be her coming back to life, not really sure. Peter's watching a ninja star coming toward him in slow motion. The ninjas are jumping off of each other to reach Spider-Man, who is on the prison ceiling. Peter heads towards them and creates the web tornado to take the ninjas down. Okay, it is Marissa. Interesting. Okay, so that's all really cool. Let's keep going. And then cuts to Peter looking at Aunt May's grave. He says he misses her and blows a kiss goodbye. That's sad. Trailer ends with Spider-Man in a giant building falling on top of him. Hulk is apparently in the scene. After that, there is at least one funny scene where Spider-Man arrives at the prison to rescue somebody. He's surrounded by guards. He asks the guards for 1 second. He cracks jokes and stretches, asks the guard if they're ready. So yeah, there's a part at the end like that. But there's a couple of things missing from this description, okay? Number one, there's a part where Peter... There's some kind of saying, like, I think Jean says something like, "You can't stop me." And then Banner says something like, "Yeah, but he can." And then they show actual Savage Hulk. That's one of the really crazy parts of the trailer. We'll be seeing Savage Hulk. And apparently he is absolutely yoked, dude. And Peter even comments in the trailer, "I didn't know you could get that big," which indicates that we're going to go from... weaker, sort of smart, nerdy Hulk to actual Savage Hulk. And let me show you something else here that'll kind of tie into this, because we had some other leaks for some toys, which I think help to explain this a little bit. So let me pull this over here, okay? So these are those like little collectible Johns. Like they sell these in like Hot Topic and stuff. They maybe even sell them at the theater. So they're fun. I think I got some of the X-Men ones one time. So what you notice here is you have Hulk raging out, and then you have Smart Hulk here. All right. Now look, a whole bunch of people saw this and are very upset about it. And they're like, "What is Smart Hulk doing there?" Ah! In fact, look at the first comment under here. Pretty good one. Smart Hulk. Right, so we're all raging. But here's the thing. What this likely indicates is you'll have Hulk, and you'll have Hulk be smart at some point in the movie. So maybe Banner is explaining the wrist thing. Maybe he's explaining how he can then go into Hulk form, as he did in the She-Hulk show, right? Maybe that'll happen, and then maybe Jean will break that barrier, or Jean messing with his mind will stop the device from working, and then boom, Savage Hulk shows up. And apparently, guys, Savage Hulk will indeed be stronger and more savage than ever, and he might actually kill a few people in this movie, okay? Which ultimately it's like gonna be weird, because maybe that's Jean Grey's fault, but maybe she didn't know what was going on with that, right? There's another thing in the trailer, a piece of dialogue that's really interesting, where the guy in William Metzger, I guess, who's in charge of damage control, tells Peter Parker, again, he says, "It's an enemy we can't see. We, can take over our mind." It's something like that, whatever he said in the first trailer. But what he adds to it is he says, "You are the only person that can sense it, and you're the only person that's immune to it." And so what that might mean is Jean Grey can't mind control Peter for some reason, which would be really, really wild. Just real quick here, chat. Is that a thing in comics at all? Because I've never seen that in comics. One thing that comes to mind is Daredevil. I remember in the AVX days, I think it was Psylocke tries to go inside the mind of Daredevil, and she like instantly cowers in pain because she's not used to his oversensory, like it's fucking painful to be Daredevil. Those senses are constantly coming in. It's a lot. So she could not actually telepathically take over Daredevil because of his powers. So is there something in the comics where she cannot take over Peter Parker? That would be really interesting. I wonder if it's connected to maybe the spell. Is it connected to the Web of Life and Destiny? Shouldn't you know? Yeah, no, I should probably know everything. You're right. Selkovis. Jesus Christ. It's difficult to enter Peter's mind. Okay, interesting. She's not an expert telepath. Okay, so yeah, that would track then. That is kind of fucking cool. Apparently there's another shot in the trailer where she's going to do some kind of blast thing too. And look, I think this trailer is very much going to tease the Jean Grey of it all. It's going to confirm Savage Hulk, but it's going to tease the Jean Grey of it all. Now, here's another part of this that we got to talk about here. This may or may not be the secret, right? Because here, I got to show you. So look. I'll just tell you what this probably is. So when you get this thing, you see how there's some secret ones? There's an exclusive secret one that they're not telling you what it is. Like you see over here? I don't know if you can see it. Here. Okay. It's over here. Exclusive this. Okay. So there's a mystery figure you could get. Okay. Well, what's the mystery figure? I mean, I don't know, but it might be this fucking one. Okay. Now, who's this? You might ask. Well, that's Jean Grey, or maybe Marvel Girl, as she might be called in the movie. We'll see. But so why do we think this is real? Well, number one, because Alex Perez retweeted it this morning and said, "Oh shit, she's got pink powers. They actually made it the right way." Which, by the way, when we were going over something that Cryptic said a couple of months ago, he had said that her powers would be blue. And I was like, that's not what I heard. That's because I heard they would be doing the pink. So anyway, this is the outfit that she is in with like the military stuff, even the boots, the goldish jacket that she wears. It's meant to evoke the Marvel Girl color aesthetic. And we did hear that she will have powers and you will be able to see them. And Marvel and Sony are also good at hiding stuff in the trailers. And so a lot of the scenes we've already like had in front of us because of the trailers will likely be adjusted in the final version of the film and will have the power and the aura coming off of Jean Grey. Okay, so look, ipso facto, sorry, just spoiled it, but come on, man, we all knew this was already a thing. And so I think that's what it is. Now, what does this mean for the actual trailer? Well, we obviously want to see it. We want to see it in HD, and we want to double check all the stuff that we just went over in this video. We're going to be looking for what is being said about Peter, about Hulk, like what is going on there? What is being said about this mysterious psychic thing, this Jean Grey thing? How is that working together? Peter and the organic stuff and the other. It's just, there's a lot going on in this movie, and then it's like, what's up with Punisher, right? So we're going to watch the trailer. We're going to be looking for all of that stuff. There's also a line in the trailer where somebody says something about going after MJ, visiting MJ, and I'm not sure what villain that is, and I definitely need to know more about that section of the trailer when it finally releases. So according to Daniel RPK, this trailer will release on the 17th, June 17th. And that probably sets it up for what? Toy Story 5, maybe? I'm not keeping track of these movies, but, you know, they probably want to put it in front of a big film. So maybe for Toy Story 5. But that's when we expect the trailer. It'll probably drop early in the morning. We'll go live. We'll do a reaction. We'll break it down live. It'll be really, really cool. And so that is probably as best we can as far as breaking down the leaked trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Chat, do you have any questions? Is there something else in the trailer that I missed? Is there anything you want to talk about? Like, let's chat for a little bit here, and then we'll do the short. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Paul said it was Jean that says she'll go after MJ to Peter. Really? Okay, wow. Well, that would track, as she could read his mind, but not be able to take over his mind, maybe. Interesting. It's Jean mind controlling random people talking to Spider-Man. Oh, shit. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's a random guy in the street. It's Jean talking to him. Makes perfect sense, man. By the way, how did they think they were going to hide this from us all? Seriously. You know what I mean? Like, how did they think they were going to hide this from us? Do you really think Jean is going to be the one chasing him in that one part? She wouldn't have to be flying, right? I'm not sure what part you're talking about, brother. If you could be a little more specific, I'll try to answer it. Kind of like it was difficult for Strange to keep Peter in astral form. Ooh, I like that. I didn't even consider that. How about that? Yeah, I could see that, man. That's interesting. So the spider sense might be tough. Yeah, interesting. Wait, did it say the second trailer description say Spidey is visiting someone in prison? Daredevil? Could be. Yeah, could be. We'll see. Do you think the X-Men films will be announced at SDCC along with the cast? No, but maybe next year. No, dude, it's all about Doomsday this year. They probably figured the longer they held out, the longer we'd talk and guess who she is. That's all. Fair. Yeah, fair. I mean, look, they still did a great job because a lot of you don't believe it still. and people won't believe it. So look, they still did a great job, you know. I will say though, this toy leak was maybe a little like this toy leak's maybe a little, you know, maybe they would have liked to avoid that. The part in the parenthesis where it says might be Jean chasing him. Let me look at this here. Might be Jean chasing him. It might be Jean chasing him or something like that. I don't think she's... No, that's probably just speculation on his part. I don't think he's being chased in that scene. I think he's experimenting. I think he wakes up in the cocoon, puts his stuff on. There's that one scene where the thing gets flown across to the wall. He's got the organic webbing, so he's probably just checking it out, going out web swinging, and he's like, "Oh my god, this shit's crazy." Like, I don't see Jean is not going after Peter. Because, you know, one of the very first trailers, they cut this line out of it, but there was a line where Jean says, "Stay out of my way or your friends won't be the only ones to forget who Peter Parker is." She said that. They cut it out of the trailer because it's probably a little too on the nose for the Jean Grey theories. But yeah, so I think she just wants Peter out of the way. Now, maybe after Peter really screws some stuff up for her, then she will investigate him a little bit more. I'm not sure. And I do think they'll ultimately start working together at some point, or be open to it and then work together in Secret Wars. So it's always the toys. Yeah, the toys tend to be a pretty good piece of info. Wait till we get into some of these Doomsday toy leaks, bro. This shit is crazy. Do you think the rumor of Jean freezing New York sets her and the mutants up to be viewed in a negative light by the public? Something like that could absolutely be going on, yeah. So as I've said before, I tend to believe a lot of Doomsday and Spider-Man, Brand New Day, will be remembered by everybody on 616. I think Secret Wars and maybe a section of Doomsday will be forgotten by most people. They'll just have that erased from their memory when we reset back after Secret Wars, right? But I do think Doomsday and I do think Spider-Man Brand New Day will both be remembered by a lot of people. And remember what Feige said. Feige said that we're setting up a conflict with the X-Men. We're setting up the X-Men saga with these next few movies, his words. And he said you'll see some familiar mutants pop up in those movies. And we really haven't yet. So it's going to be these movies this year. Obviously, the X-Men are playing a huge role in Doomsday, and Jean's a big part of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So they're setting something up. They want a conflict between certain groups and the mutants. Damage Control seems to already have the mutants on their radar. So yeah, there's something to that. Who's going to be this Jean's Scotty Summers? I don't know. I've heard a couple of names. We'll see. But I like Sadie a lot, and so they're probably doing chemistry reads with her. She's the RDJ now. She's the Robert Downey Jr. of the Mutant Saga. And you'll still have Robert Downey Jr., by the way, I think. But she's the next RDJ, and I think she's a great choice for that. And whoever they build around her, like, that's a smart way to do it, to build around her. Find the person that she has the best chemistry with, make her the central lensing of all of that casting. What if we were wrong the whole time in the movie and she's Madeline? Yeah, I mean, it could be. I don't really see that because, like, look, do they really want to do this cutesy-tootsy weird thing where she's not actually Jean Grey, but then she'll play Jean Grey later on? I don't think so, guys. That's a little too floaty and weird for, you know, aunts, uncles, the normies. By the way, Rob had these great words for normies, and I forget what he said, like Downtown Dan or something. Like, he had these funny expressions when I was chatting with him about normies. But real talk, man, like, come on. Are we really going to do, in the big Spider-Man movie, oh, Sadie Sink, big star from Stranger Things, biggest thing in the world, biggest show in the world. And she's this really obscure version that's not quite Jean Grey, but don't worry, she'll be Jean Grey in the next minute. Like, come on, guys. Like, just use game theory. That makes no sense. That would be absurd. So no. It sounds like Holly weird. Yeah, in some ways, sure. But got some smart people working on this one, so I don't think so. It's literally what they did with Iron Man. Could you explain that a little bit more? I'm not sure what you mean. A character no one knew? So Iron Man is certainly lesser known. That's totally fair. And they had about 10 characters. So when Marvel Studios is first kicking off, they had to buy the license back to a lot of those characters. They bought the license back to Iron Man, by the way. They didn't have it. They had to buy it back. And they buy the 10 ones that they can afford. And they look at that list that had, like, you know, Thor, Loki, Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man. And they look at the list and they had to decide which one was going to be the first one. Okay. And so they choose Iron Man. And they thought the Hugh Hefner aspect and sort of leaning to that would play and work. And it totally hit. I think RTJ crushed it. And they obviously had this big, big success, right? But they did that because they had to, dude. You're not going to do that again 15 years into your run. You're now probably the biggest thing in the zeitgeist. Like, why would they do that? You know what I mean? They would be stupid to do that. They're in a completely different position. Hollywood's in a completely different position. The audience is in a completely different position. Look at what they're doing. They got the Stranger Things gal. They got Pedro Pascal. I don't think a great choice, but they went after people that had big profiles. They're trying to get Daniel Day-Lewis for Magneto. So they are clearly adjusting how they're going about this. And I think that's what you would do. All right, let's do the short. And then let's move on, because we got to talk about the Doomsday leaks, baby. Those Doomsday leaks is crazy. Those Doomsday leaks is crazy, bro. Okay, TLDR on the new leaked Spider-Man trailer. First of all, yes, it's real. It's out there. A lot of different versions of it. Bad video, no video, good audio, bad audio. It's out there. It's real. It's leaking. I can't show you in this video or basically in any video, but it's out there. You can find it. Now, a couple of really cool things in the trailer that we will want to double check when the official trailer releases, which is rumored to be coming out on June 17th. So just in a couple of weeks here. But one of the coolest things about this trailer is Savage Hulk. For the very first time, we're actually going to see Savage Hulk in the trailer from the weird 420p shots of it that I saw on my cell phone across the room reflected in a mirror. It looked good. Looks really cool. Peter Parker makes a comment of like, I didn't know you could get that big, which to me is so cool because Hulk should get bigger. He should be more powerful the more angry he gets. That's one of the big things we've lost in the MCU version of Hulk, and not just in Endgame and when he became the cardigan wearing bitch boy, but like just in general, we've never really had that attributed to Hulk, which I always thought was weird. And he does change in size. So like in Ang Lee's Hulk, even though I think that movie is buttholes, one of the things they actually get right is Hulk changing form, getting bigger as he gets more angry. So it's cool to see that return and going from like sort of slouched over cardigan wearing Hulk into like really big, like literally he's hulking. He's a fucking Hulk, dude, right? So he should be like big and massive. So it's so cool that that's going to be a part of the movie. There's also some pretty big teases of Jean Grey in this trailer. Her talking to Punisher, her talking to Peter through other people's minds, another leak of a toy that showed her with pink energy and power. There's potentially a scene in this trailer where she freezes a whole bunch of people in New York City, like Professor X does in a couple of the X-Men movies. So although it's not hard confirmed in the trailer, it seems like Sony and Marvel are willing to tease out a little bit more of what's going on with Sadie Sink's character, who I again think is Jean freaking Grey. There's stuff about nature, and Peter's asking Bruce Banner about changes in manipulating genome and stopping mutations in the gene. Peter's asking him about how do you know what are the good and bad parts of nature. So there's a lot of really cool subtext and interesting things being teased in this trailer. The action, the pacing, the humor, it all seems to be really on point. Man, That first Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer broke records, did 2 billion views. I think this one's going to do just as good, if not better. I think they have the perfect hype cycle for this film. Whether you believe the Jean Grey stuff or not, you got to be excited of Savage Hulk. You got to be excited about Punisher. You got to be excited about organic webbing with Peter. There's a lot to love with this movie, and there's an X-Men element with Jean Grey, which is being kept under wraps. So really cool stuff. The leak trailer's dope. That's a little bit of the fun stuff that's in there. And again, the real trailer drops on the 17th. We'll break it down when it comes out. All right. Bye. That was a little long. It was like 3 minutes. You might want to try to chop that one down a little bit, Randon, but let me send it on over. Let me send it on over now. I have got to organize my shit better. Where is this video? Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? Where have you gone? Should I do the next stanza? My word is change. Who the fuck are these guys here? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, what are you talking about, huh? What is yous even talking about then? My time to shine, just poster a Spider-Man leak. Well, why don't you poster her to shut the fuck up? What's the leak, though? Is it cool? I got her blocked, but I can still look at her posts. My time to poop on the floor. Oh, okay. What? She said man spider? She said he really is that big? Wish she would just shut up. That is kind of crazy. So she's claiming that he will be turning into man spider in the movie. But if he doesn't like fully turn into man spider, is that the same thing? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. If she stops posting, where will you get your news from? I don't know, like all the other motherfuckers we've been talking about all stream today that I've been talking about for years. Everybody else that's way better than her and less annoying and stupid. How's that for an answer? Does Man Spider look like the Thing from Spider Noir? Maybe. That shit looks really cool. So hopefully. 6 Tom Holland with 6 arms for MJ. All right, bud. If they're not going to go full Man Spider 97, then I don't want it. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Supergirl, She-Hulk, or Heather? Is this a F, Marry, Kill? Definitely kill Heather. You probably F Supergirl, and you marry She-Hulk. Boo! Boo! Imagine the movie ends with him still man spider form. That'd be crazy, dude. Fuck Heather, marry Supergirl, kill She-Hulk. That's probably the right answer, but I just want to kill Heather so badly. In Minecraft. Nice Berg says, please chill on my DCU. The Hope Corps makes me happy. Look, brother, I'm honestly trying. I know it probably doesn't seem like it, but I am trying, dude. I liked Superman. I gave it a lot of props. Okay? Lanterns, the last trailer was incredible. I am excited for Lanterns. I will give Lanterns a fair shot. I'll watch Supergirl when it arrives at like the dollar bins at Walmart or something like that, or streaming or something, but you know. That trailer was sick. I just watched it. Marvel should just put it out. Yeah, I don't know if it's Marvel's call though. It might be a little bit of Sony's call on that, you know what I mean? All right, can we talk a little bit about Doomsday, chat, and then we're going to get on out of here. All right, so we got some cool Doomsday leaks. I'm for serious. These are coming out via some toys. So a ton of these are out there. Maybe you saw some. Maybe you saw the Tobey Maguire one, which I think the Tobey Maguire one is so funny because he's going to die like immediately in the movie. Now, I already know why they're doing this, because what they actually are going for is like people knowing Toby's in it, being excited that Toby's in it, and then him getting murdered in front of their faces in the first 5 minutes, and he's not in the movie at all after that. And fans are going to be so mad. And then there's a post-credit scene or something where he pops up on Battleworld, and we're like, ooh, because he'll be a big part of Secret Wars, okay? But it is kind of wild that they have Tobey Maguire. Also, too, I'm not going to linger on this topic too much because you guys will just say I'm being toxic. But there's like so many cool fucking things with the toys, and then there's just Sam Wilson. I'm sorry, it's true. There's so many cool things, so many dope toys. Oh my God, this thing's going on with that. Thor has lightning armor. Doom's using Wanda's fucking powers. Tobey Maguire, oh my God. And then it's just Sam Wilson. I didn't decide for it to be like that. I don't know. You guys did, you know? And he's just Sam Wilson, you know? So anyway, cool shit happening. First of all, let's talk about this with Thor. Thor appears to have lightning armor. Something where it's interesting for a couple of different reasons. Okay, number one, it is yellow as opposed to his regular like blue and white. Now, what could this mean, chat? Have we seen any other characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that use yellow lightning? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? I'll give you a hint. Have a little grape. Have a little wine. Relax. Yeah, Zeus. Odin? Does Odin also use yellow electricity? I can't remember. Chill out, baby cakes. Yeah, that's the line. Sorry. It's been so long since I watched that. The only times that I'll ever watch it. So, maybe he gets a little help from Zeus. Dude, I think that would be kind of cool. You know, Love and Thunder is terrible. But there were some things in there that I thought, if handled better, would have been really fun to explore. The end of the movie with all the gods, and, you know, you're going to where Eternity's at, and you're in the Hall of the Gods, and they had all these cosmic beings, including Death, Mistress Death. Thought that was really cool. The actual gathering of all of the gods and the Celestials, you know, you had like Bast, and you had Zeus, and you had, you know, Hercules, and all these different gods. I thought that was kind of cool. So there were things in there that I thought were interesting. It's just the movie overall is just goobly glob garbage, right? But I wouldn't hate it if Thor, at some point in his journey, went to that council and received powers from Zeus or something, and just got juiced up to the gills, even more powerful. It could be an Odin Force thing. It could absolutely be an Odin Force thing, or it could be connected to Zeus. I guess technically it could be connected to other characters or other forms of power or whatever. But Thor getting an upgrade, Thor using both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker is really interesting. Now, technically, Cap has a Mjolnir as well. This is not the same Mjolnir. This is the one that was shattered and rebuilt by his ex-girlfriend, who was way too plucky about dying with cancer. Fuck that movie. Anyway, this is cool. Does it mean anything for the movie, or is it just a fun Lego-esque toy thing? What do you think, Chad? That's probably the first question. Like, do you think he's actually going to use this shit in the movie? Or do you think this is just like some fun toy thing? Because I'm leaning towards him actually using this in the movie. I am. And part of why is because I believe this leak is also accurate to something that's going to happen in the movie. But we'll talk about it in just a second here. What do you think? Could be a toy thing? Yeah, it could be. I think it means something after the prayer. It could certainly mean something after the prayer. What we've heard about that is that Odin will answer his prayer by having everybody in Valhalla exit and come fight with Thor at the end of time, which kind of tracks with Ragnarok, like the real Ragnarok from the Poetic Eddas. In Ragnarok, the story from myth, Snorri's story, the Hall of Odin, where a lot of warriors go to Valhalla and they live in the Hall of Odin. There's 540 rooms. Technically speaking, Frigg, I believe, gets first pick. Odin gets second pick. A lot of people don't know that when it comes to Valhalla. But, you know, she has warriors from Valhalla. A lot of them go to live with Odin. 540 rooms. And at the end of time, all of them exit Odin's hall. And they come to fight in the big battle with the gods, you know, against Fenris, Jormungandr, all of these different creatures and gods. So I think they're echoing or mirroring or paying homage to what actually happens in the Edda, the stories of Ragnarok. And so Thor's prayer will be answered. Everyone will leave Valhalla and fight in this big final battle at the end of time. And just like in the Eddas, they're going to lose and everybody's going to die, probably including Thor. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. I hope Thor doesn't have that fuck-ass tattoo. Yeah, or just keep it covered. You know what I mean? Like, treat it like a bathhouse in Japan. Just keep that shit covered, dog. But now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. People are, people are confused. Or maybe there's a little bit of debate on whether or not the yellow stuff is real. So let's talk about this with Doctor Doom. So first of all, we're getting official Doctor Doom toys. And the one thing that's cool about it is we can see on both the packaging and also in the toy itself that we have the actual look of Doom's mask. You know, when these product placement images started to leak late last year, we went over them and we were like, yeah, this seems like this is it, guys. It seems like this is what we're looking at with Doom. And I just frankly think it's worth pausing for a second and basically being like, thank God, because this shit looks really good. And who knows what we could have gotten with Doom. I think the look that he had at the end of the post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four was kind of whack. So I really like this. It looks better in the packaging than it does in the actual toy, that's for sure. The mold's probably cheap. But overall, really, really cool. Now, let's talk about these things here, though, because you've got red magic. And it's like, it's not even just like a little red. Like, that's like clearly Wanda Maximoff Scarlet Witch level of red. Like, clearly. Okay. And there's, of course, a comic book precedence for this, which I'll show you here in a moment. This is from the Children's Crusade run. And Victor is very clearly using chaos magic. Okay. And we've heard that, like, you know, a certain aspect of the Children's Crusade run will be adapted in Doomsday and Secret Wars. So there's definitely something there. And Doom is rumored to be somewhat involved with Wanda Maximoff. Wanda is very likely to be one of the golden masked figures that are the sorcerers and the witches that are working for Doom. I think she'll even be one of the main 3 female ones, which will also be connected to the Norns. So another connection to the actual Poetic Edda and the stories within and the myth and Ragnarok and all of that sort of stuff, right? So pretty cool. But let's focus on the power itself. So Doctor Doom with chaos magic. I mean, that is a pretty fucking crazy idea. Doom with his own magic is a problem. And I would imagine through a lot of the film, we're going to see him just doing that. In the trailer that nobody's been able to see except all those people that went to that one Comic-Con, he's fighting against Thor and he's holding the hammer with like his finger and stuff like that. No description of red energy. And I got to say, I think if there was red energy there, we would have heard about it. This red energy is also very likely something that they can hide until the final film is out there because it's additional digital effects. So you're just going to film Downey in the suit and he's, doing something with energy. And then you put that digitally. Well, dude, you can just like render out a version where you don't have the digital and put it into the trailers, and there you go. It reminds me of when we saw Tony Stark in the very first Endgame trailer. He's in the ship, and he's not sunken in. He's not skinny like he was in the actual movie. And the reason why is because they did the shrinking of him and hollowing out of his cheeks and making him look sickly. They did that digitally. And so all they did to throw us off in the trailer was just not add that digital layer over top for the version of the trailer. And I remember, because it threw me off a little bit. I was like, the timing here doesn't make sense. How, if this is after the plan, he would be all skinny and like, you know, whatever. So they're probably going to do a similar thing with Doom. What I'm saying is it's possible he's using the red aura and the magic in that fight with Thor, if that fight is in the third act, and yet Marvel's still hiding the red energy and the power. And bro, I mean, Doom with chaos magic is a fucking very frightening idea, okay? And maybe he has all the magic. Like, maybe he's got some of the dark magic from Dormammu and Clea. Maybe he has some of the time magic from either the TVA Loki or Sylvie. Maybe he's got the chaos magic from Wanda. I mean, this dude could be juiced up in ways that, like, are just fucking insane, okay? And so this is really cool. It's sort of, I didn't expect it. I knew he was working with Wanda. I knew he'd probably use Wanda's powers or have Wanda do stuff with her powers to affect the outcome that he wanted. But I didn't really expect him to actually be channeling and funneling actual chaos magic right then and there. Now, there's something else that this potentially connects to, and it's something that a lot of other people have been sort of teasing and talking about. Let me see if I can find the gentleman that was talking about it on my post here. It has to do with the crown. Okay, yeah. So MK Stalin, what an interesting name. Says here, nice. It matches the earlier concept art. I think Doom will resurrect 616 Wanda, drain her powers, and kill her. The Scarlet Witch crown transfers to him, and he'll use magic in both films. In Secret Wars, the crown will be the MacGuffin. The heroes steal it to revive 616 Wanda. So what he's mentioning here is, in this concept art, there are multiple crowns that you can see. It seems like he's wearing one in this shot, and it seems like he's wearing one in this shot. Alex Perez did actually say in one of his Q&As that Wanda would give her crown to Doom. That's, I mean, he's vague, so maybe he didn't mean it exactly that way, but the way I took it was he was confirming that Wanda will just give her crown to Dr. Doom. And remember that the prophecy in the Darkhold says that the Scarlet Witch will either rule the cosmos or destroy it. There are such things as he-witches. Some people call them warlocks. I don't like that name, warlock, because that means oathbreaker in like the Norse tradition, but sure, warlocks, you know, some people, maybe more Germanic traditions of magic, would consider a warlock to mean something other than a oathbreaker, right? But regardless, a he-witch, and even Odin himself, because Odin is the god of war, but he's also he's technically the god of battle, but he's the god of wisdom and magic, okay? And there's actually a weird contradiction in Norse mythology, but it was really Norse culture, where to be a Vidki or a Volair, to do magic as a man, was considered feminine. It was considered like weak and feminine and not very chill. And yet the actual battle god that they're all trying to impress to get into Valhalla, he was that contradiction. He hung on the world tree for 9 days. He trades his eye to drink the well of knowledge. Odin is willing to sacrifice anything for knowledge, and that makes him a little bit feminine to the Norse men. It's kind of hard to explain, but like Norse culture had a lot of status quo and yet tension of the contradiction within the status quo. I say all of that to say it seems weird that Dr. Doom would become the Scarlet Witch. And yet, if we're really doing this Ragnarok Norse thing, and Loki's a part of it, Thor's a part of it, and all these different things, it actually kind of tracks, because again, Odin himself becomes a witch, essentially, right? So I hope that makes sense. It might be a little floaty of an idea, but I think it's totally possible, man. And especially when you see the red that he's using, doesn't it feel like he's using that power here? Like that's crazy. So he could be the Scarlet Witch, man. So these are just couple of little toy leaks here, but dude, man, they potentially mean a lot. They potentially tease a lot. So with that all being said, guys, what do you make of these new Doomsday leaks, chat? What do you think? I want to see He-Man versus He-Witch. What? Explains why Odin accepted Loki, who is also a witch. Yeah, in the actual Eddas, though, Loki's something like a blood brother to Odin. He might even secretly be one of Odin's actual brothers. There's a lot of Loki's very interesting, but in the actual Norse mythology, Loki is even more mysterious than he is in Marvel. The hood with the blacked out mask is fire. It's pretty cool, yeah. Josh, there's only one way to take a woman's chaos magic. Wait, what? What's the way? Boning? Bumping uglies? Delta Dan says, why would Wanda give up the crown? Did Doom promise to save her family? Much love, chat. Yeah, I would say so, man. I mean, why is she going to give up the crown? Because Doom probably saves her life at the very end, which is interesting because maybe he already has some of the chaos magic power because we see a red blip and then she's like saved or whatever. But basically, I think he's going to save her. He's going to offer to give her what she wants, which is the ability to have her children. And he's going to say like, hey, keep cool, chill out, baby cakes. I'll make everything better. You know? Hey, ladies, if there's any ladies in here, which statistically there should be like 1 or 2 of you because we run it at like a 3% female audience demographic. Ladies, have you ever had a man promise to make everything better? Did you believe them? Want to see Sentry, Thor, and Adam Warlock tag team in a fight against Doom and Secret Wars? That would be cool, for sure. That'd be really cool. Can't Doom be a wizard like Strange? What's the difference between a sorcerer and a witch? Well, I don't know that we've ever actually had that explained in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The closest we've come is probably Multiverse of Madness. So Wanda's a witch. She uses rune magic. She seems to be able to use chaos magic, which is something a lot of witches cannot even do. And sorcerers, at least from what we've seen so far, seem to be a little bit more in balance. Like they'll call upon the energies of other realms and manipulate it, but they don't they shouldn't corrupt themselves. But, truly, we have never had this really explained. Maybe it's something that they'll explain more in Doomsday, but like in Multiverse of Madness, Strange and them, when they're looking at the monster that attacks New York, they see the runes and they're like, this isn't sorcery, it's witchcraft. And again, that's like totally different than any like actual magical studies, whether it's just through the mythological lensing or like actual esoteric study. That's not how that shit works. But in Marvel, maybe there's a delineation. They use eldritch magic and dimensions, right? That's what the Ancient Ones said in the first Doctor Strange movie. Yeah, and I think that there's something there, but I would like it to be explained a little bit more. Don't think about it too much. Yeah, I mean, it might have to do with the runes, but ironically, I guess it could be the runes. But rune magic is like traditionally thought of as more safe than other kinds of magic. So, any other thoughts on these two Doomsday leaks? You think the crown thing is real? I think the crown thing might be real, man. I think the crown thing might be real, and I think that's kind of cool. If the incursion turned the sky red and Doom is using red magic, I think Doom is actually colliding worlds. Whoa! That would be kind of fun. Yeah, that could be kind of fun, man. I'd be into that. Who would I cast as Wolverine and Cyclops? I'm bad at casting, man. I'm bad at casting. I couldn't tell you. Very Doom to snatch Wanda's crown off her dome. Yeah, but it's even more Doom to manipulate her into having her give him the crown. That's some real Doom shit. The main characters in Secret Wars, I think you're going to have Iron Man, RDJ Iron Man, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man will be one unit. I think Wong, Star-Lord, and the Champions will be another unit. I think you're going to have Tom Holland Spider-Man, Sadie Sink Jean Grey, and Florence Pugh and Pedro and a lot of the people that survive via the life raft. So they're all going to be a unit. And then you'll have a lot of the characters we see die in Secret Wars be in their Battleworld attire. Does that make sense? When are you putting out the whiteboard again for a theory time? I'm not really sure. I got a lot of ideas I'm cooking, but I'm also trying to get the office and everything set up. And so I'm juggling a lot right now, but hopefully everything will be a little more stable as we get closer to July. Because, man, I'm excited. Kaylin says, hey, nerds, at work, still doing training. Hate that I'm missing the live streams. Can't wait to check out the clips. Yeah, it's been a good stream, brother. We appreciate you, and you'll be done soon. You'll be able to be streaming more, but yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. We want a whiteboard for 616 Mutants, since Charles is rumored to be in Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, I'd need to hear a little bit more than the rumors that are currently out there for that. But yeah, sure. Be cool. All right, should we do the short? Should we do the short? All right, TLDR on the new Doomsday action figure leaks. We got a bunch of crazy ones. Like, one that's crazy is like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which we all know by now is real, and he's going to die in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Sorry. Don't worry. He'll be one of the leads in Secret Wars. But a couple other really interesting ones. I'm looking at this Thor. This Thor with the yellow lightning armor. We just did a whole thing about this, chat and myself, trying to figure out what this could be. Zeus technically uses yellow lightning. Perhaps he's getting some Zeus-like powers here. Maybe he's able to make some armor with Zeus's lightning bolts or something. That could be really cool. But either way, it looks like Thor's getting a crazy power-up, and it looks like he'll be using Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in at least one part of the movie with some kind of yellow freaking armor. Absolutely insane. And then there's this. This is a leak of Doctor Doom using red magic. And man, does this look like Wanda Maximoff's chaos energy that she uses when she uses her witchcraft, her chaos magic. And there's precedence in Marvel Comics, different points throughout comics, mostly in the Children's Crusade run, where Doctor Doom uses the red chaos magic that Wanda is able to use. And the thing that makes it even more crazy are these rumors that Wanda will give the crown of the Scarlet Witch to Victor Von Doom. I'm going to put up a couple of images here. These are concept art that apparently leaked for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and they seem to show Victor Von Doom wearing a crown. And Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus did tease that Wanda Maximoff might give the crown of the Scarlet Witch to Victor Von Doom, making him a Scarlet Witch, a he-witch version of the Scarlet Witch, and maybe he'll fulfill the prophecy by destroying the cosmos and ruling it. So, whoa, some really crazy shit coming out from these toy leaks for Avengers Doomsday. Doom using Wanda Maximoff magic, Thor using both hammers, using yellow lightning. Doomsday's gonna be fucking crazy, guys. Hey, that wasn't bad. 2 minutes. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Not too bad. That was like 5 minutes. I literally timed it. It was 2 minutes. Anyway. All right, let me find this. It was like 211. I think this is it. Okay. Anytime you do those, it feels like we're watching behind the scenes work. We are not meant to see. Yeah, a little bit. Record a hook for the first 5 seconds. What hook? What hook? You need a soundboard? Yeah, I should probably get a soundboard, yeah. Wanda just disappoints everyone at 616 over and over again. Yeah, she kind of does. She kind of does. It's a bit unfortunate there, Wanda, but you seem to be fucking it all up. Too bad. So sad. My name is Doom. For the hook? Yeah. Do you think these are some of the ideas that would challenge the audience? Yeah, maybe, yeah. I really liked the last time the Russos were talking about that when we watched that interview. And I think it was with Downey when they were doing the thing for Infinity War. And Anthony Russo had this really cool thing he said about how these movies ask something of the audience. You're not just having a passive experience. Like, it literally sort of asks something of you. And Infinity War probably asked more of an audience than any other movie in that genre. And I agree. The conflict, the loss, the letdown, it is that. And I think that participating in the movie is like an interesting way to put it. And I think Doomsday is going to require a lot of participation from the audience. It's not going to be like this completely benign experience. Like, you will engage, you will change, you will be challenged. You will have to participate in the movie. And I think that's cool. You know what I mean? I really do. I think that's a really cool thing. And I really enjoyed him saying that. I'm in awe that we're getting Chaos Magic Doom. This literally changes everything about how I feel about the movie. It doesn't change everything for me, but what it does show you is like, oh, damn, like nothing's off the table then. Because, like, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. And it's just in the toys, first wave. So, like, yeah, that is crazy. It shows you how far they're willing to go, man. And I'm very excited about that, because I don't think it's just Doom, and I think it's going to be other characters that get power-ups, maybe some other variants and stuff. So, yeah. Marvel are really going to go all out for these two movies, have some making up to do. I agree with you. I think that is probably something they're thinking about as well. Downey made that comment where he said, we have to zero out the board and just earn your trust and your respect all over again. So they're sort of treating this, it's almost like this is the first Marvel movie ever now, or like the first of a new chapter. And I really like that idea. I like that in concept. Don't lean on anything. Treat it as though you've got to earn all the trust back. That's cool. That's cool. Do you think that when they scrapped Kang Dynasty, did they change Spider-Man Brand New Day? I mean, we know Spider-Man Brand New Day's had a lot of changes. At one time, it was going to be Kang and Ant-Man. So, yeah, that movie's gone through a lot of changes. And Tom Holland went from being the lead of the Kang Dynasty to maybe not in at all or barely in Doomsday. So, yeah, a lot of changes. Appreciate you, Ross, man. Hope work is going good, buddy. Have you heard any rumors to do with the OG characters like Steve, Natasha, T'Challa after Secret Wars? No, I haven't really. Not anything new. Warhammer, baby. Hell yeah, we're going to have a Warhammer Wednesday. So, guys, no stream tomorrow. I'm going to work on a big video for you on the main channel. I've actually got a lot of cool ideas for the main Den of Nerds channel, but we're in this transitional period. I'm working on a lot of different things like the shorts, the new equipment, new strategies, etc., etc. So, yeah, no stream tomorrow. We'll be double streaming on Wednesday. We'll do a regular stream in the morning, and then we'll do a Warhammer Wednesday stream Wednesday night. Be there if you're Warhammer curious. It'll be fun. Probably no stream Thursday, but we'll close out the week strong. And then on Saturday morning, I want to do another deep dive stream. So if you're a member of the channel, come by Saturday morning or watch it on the replay. We're going to do Thor 1, and I'm so excited to do Thor 1 because of all the reading and study I've been doing about the Norse mythology and just what was actually going on with Vikings and stuff like that. So I'm very excited. We'll go at 11 on Saturday morning. So look out for that. It'll probably be an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We'll do them like we did before. I'll watch the movie first, and then we'll go through it and bring up a bunch of interesting things from that film. So I'm excited, man. This is going to be a good week. And I'm hoping by the end of this week, moving into next week, and definitely before July, that we've got all this new equipment figured out. We have all the, the creases ironed, and we're ready to go because it's going to be a very big summer. It's going to be a very big back half of the year. I do have big Unity updates coming. We've been doing some really cool work on that. So a lot of shit is going to start happening in the next couple of months, and we're going to close out the year very strong. So thank you guys for the support. And, a little bit like the Russos themselves, I'm looking to earn back trust and respect from a lot of people in the next 6 to 9 months with my content. And I think you guys are going to be surprised at the bar we reach with the quality of content, because we've got some pretty big plans and we've got some people backing us up. So it's going to be great. The Dove says, you're going to watch the World Cup this Friday, USA versus Paraguay. Sorry, Poland didn't make it this year. I'm also Polish. So, yeah, 40 months. Hey, appreciate you, man. Yeah, so what time is that USA game? Because I'd do it. I'd like to, but, is it, 3 in the morning or some crazy shit? Or no, it's in America, so it should be at a regular time, right? Oh, my God, is this going to be regular time shit? I can actually watch these games? That's fun. That's kind of fun. Hi, puppy. Welcome up here. Here. You want everybody to see you? Can you guys see her? Oh, that's my good girl. That's my good girl. You're a good girl. Oh, you're a good girl. No, don't kiss me on camera. Don't kiss me on camera. You're embarrassing me in front of the other kids. All right, puppy. Okay, well, I'm almost done. Can you go back inside? Go back inside. Okay. She's shedding. Yeah, she's a cutie, man. She's a good girl. She's actually a terrible girl, but I just tell her she's a good girl because I love her. But all right, everybody. Well, we're going to call it there. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging. Hopefully I can figure out the audio stuff for the next stream. I hope it wasn't too bad for you guys. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. Clips will drop later. Big videos dropping soon. All kinds of nerd venging to be done.